And the next one that we talk about is match. And I'll kick this off, Denise, and then feel free to jump in. We talked about this at the beginning. I talked about it, that it's not just about students making a post-secondary plan, but that they have a match that's a good match for them. And so the three things that we think about when we talk about good match are, first of all, what's the post-secondary pathway? Is it college? Is it a 2-year, 4-year, private, public, local, travel? Or is it a career training program or a skills training program? Is it a combination of the two? So the match for the post-secondary pathway, what is the best fit for that young person? The second match is around, of course, affordability. So we want to make sure that we're not setting students up to default on FAFSA or student loans, or not to be able to continue and persist through their education because some unknown financial glitch has come up. So we want to make sure that that's a piece of the process and a piece of the match, especially around things like for-profit colleges and training programs that cost money when maybe there's an option in our city for a free training program if it's a skills training program. And then the third part of the match is belonging and support, which is critical. And so we want to make sure that where students go is a good fit for who they are as a person. Everything from, are there going to be students that look like me? Are there going to be teachers that look like me? Are there agencies and supports on campus for students like me, my interest, whether, it's by who they are, what they're interested in, gender, all sorts of fits. And so we want to make sure that we're offering them support around making a good choice around belonging as well. We have a really, and this is just sort of a more detailed picture of that. So again, just to talk a little bit more about the post-secondary pathway, you can see some of the things here I mentioned, but a few that I didn't. So does a post-secondary pathway match their SAT, GPA, and coursework? Wanting also to make sure, I didn't mention this, that they don't match below, right? A lot of times students will pick a college that is a fine choice for them, but they're actually eligible for something that's a little bit more rigorous or a different setting. And so we want to make sure they don't undermatch. Here's the affordability piece. I think that's also relevant to undocumented students and thinking about family income and all of the challenges that come with getting all of the financial documents they need to apply for financial aid and for college in general. And then a big one at the bottom there I didn't mention is opportunity programs. So the success rate of students who participate in a support program, an opportunity program, some of you may know like CUNY START or ASAP or SEEK, HEOP programs, those are really critical to ensuring their success as well. So we look a lot at that. And then here's the belonging piece that I talked about. And I think that that comment on the far right there, is this a place where I can show up as my whole self, is really important to students as they're thinking about where they're going to go after graduation. I think we're going to show you actually a live demo of the tool. So let me bounce back out of here again. This is a really cool match tool. This is a screenshot, but let's actually go into it and show you what it looks like. Denise, you want me to do this? You want to talk about match?
Yeah, I don't mind. So what you're seeing here, typically a school would actually download it. I think it's easier to navigate when you download it, and then you can, it won't necessarily be view only. You can actually engage with it a little more, but we offer on the homepage a guide so that schools just understand what they're getting ready to engage in. It shows the various selectivity bands, any questions that folks would have around the tool, we try to answer them, and then loaded with resources at the bottom so that schools, as they're having conversations with students, can actually click over and find resources that are attached to the types of conversations that would happen. So there is a selectivity chart that goes along with it. It shows you where a student's ranking would fall under based on their SAT scores, and then their grade point average. And as you can see, it is in percentage as well as the college GPA, because we also know that many of the colleges refer to rankings in terms of GPA. So that's there. And then we can click over to the CUNY tab. We do know citywide data has shown us that many of our students apply to CUNY, and so there is a match tool that is specific to CUNY, so that as students are completing the CUNY application, you can schools can spend time in one-on-ones, just looking at, where the school actually is, where their SAT scores are, where students' SAT scores land, the opportunity programs, the success and supports, and have a sense of belonging. My favorite part, I think, of this entire
Me
tool
too.
is that we have a lot of data here that represents just that match for belonging. Like, how many students that look like me attend this school, and then what's the graduation rate attached to that school. So I did mention that many of our students apply to CUNY, but there are students who actually want to apply to 2 and 4 year schools outside of the state. And so um, that's where you see the selectivity band, from the most selective colleges to very selective to not so selective. And then schools can plug into this tool, just kind of scroll through and see, is it out of state or is it in state? How much does it cost to attend that school? What are the success rates of students who look like me that attend there? And what I actually like here is, and this works for me, just for students who are considering out of state schools, the affordability piece. You're able to look at and kind of get a vantage point of, like, how much am I going to actually pay? Those indirect expenses. How much am I going to need to put aside? If you're having an early conversation with a student, you can use this tool and see, like, this is on average how much it costs to attend this school. And I think it's really helpful for students and families to just be able to have that look before deciding which option is best for them. And then I'm not sure if we need to click further. I think
Yep,
you can
sorry.
see just how engaging the tool is. It is pretty fun to just kind of play around with it. And it just helps for a more robust conversation.
Right.
And something that I do want to show, it's there towards the right, but there is a way to look at which colleges are undocumented friendly, which I
Mhm.
think is extremely helpful for a lot of schools. Now, you see in this particular tab, you don't see many schools, but there are schools here in this tool that are undocumented friendly. And so when you download it, you can filter out to just find those types of schools, so that you can have those conversations should a school need to have that kind of conversation with a student. Love, 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 love this tool.
Yeah, I do as well, and it's really well received from schools, even those that are using a tool like a Naviance or some other type of college exploration tool. The thing that's great about this as well is that our office has put together a student-facing version of this, so that it walks through the students through how to use this tool themselves and lets them download it and do the same type of search. And so that's been a really great tool as well. We are running on perfect time right now, Denise, actually. So if we move ahead, we had some time put together for any kinds of questions you have. I know we shared a lot of information with you. I think what's important to know is just these are some of the ways that we're working with schools. And to mention again that, the fact that we have a designated point person who is an outreach for each high school, who's there to provide support from our office and to serve as a resource, is a great way for agencies and partners and other folks to connect to schools directly by working with us. And we're here to answer any questions that you might have about our tools, about our work, and then to maybe think about how we might support each other's work moving forward. So I'm actually going to
So I see.
stop
Oh,
sharing so I can see folks, if that's okay.
so I see Kara's question, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. What is the definition of undocumented friendly? And that actually varies from school. And we also have Josh Steckel here who
Okay.
can help answer this, but it varies from schools. But these are schools who've either identified, either on their website or in their practices, that they support students who are undocumented, meaning they have resources on campus, and by resources meaning financial support, or they don't screen whether or not you're undocumented. So your likelihood of getting flagged or any of those things won't happen. Um, or there are schools who have actually partnered with agencies that protect students' rights and all that jazz. So it actually varies from schools, but these are schools that we've identified that have in their practices supports for students who are undocumented. Josh, correct me if I'm wrong or add if necessary.
Hey everybody, I'm Josh. No, Denise, you're totally on point. I think the one specific wrinkle that I would add is that those are institutions that have committed to providing funding for undocumented students when there aren't other aid pathways. So like when students are not eligible for federal or state financial aid, those institutions will use other funds in order to help those students afford to attend the college if they're admitted.
Thank you. Any other questions that you all have for us? And as Eve mentioned, also would love to hear how you might see us working together in the future. I already see that we're already loading you up with resources. That's always available. But any other wild ideas you have, please speak up. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, as I mentioned in the chat, we'll share the PowerPoint with you. You have access to our emails and contact information. Josh dropped in a list of point people by school for the College and Career Planning team. You should feel free to reach out and let us know if you have questions in case you want to think about it a little bit or come back to us with some ideas. Denise or Josh, anything else you want to add? Otherwise, I'll go ahead and pass this over to Meg. Oh, we got a question. Sorry, folks. Are we working exclusively with CTE schools? So all of our, we're not exclusive. All of our college point persons have a caseload of schools that include CTE schools. As far as an exclusive relationship with them, I'm not sure what that means, but are we working with CTE schools? Yes. There is a point person assigned. And yeah, we will post the link to the match tool. I'll do that right now. It's a great question. I'm seeing some other questions there. Do you have ideas about career interest inventories? Yes, absolutely. So in the dashboard, I'm sorry, in the slide that we showed you with resources, we have remote lessons, and these are materials that we put together in the spring. We do work on them ongoing, and one of them is actually a lesson that guides young people. I've seen, it's a student-facing document. I've seen young people do it on their own, and I've also seen college and career counselors and staff, teachers, parents use it with their student as well, but it walks them through a career inventory assessment. We used I'm drawing a blank right now. Josh, help me out here. Is it My Path? I just drew a blank. Sorry, senior moment. I'll share that with you in the chat right now. My Best Bets. Thank you. So yeah, we have plenty of that.
With 4 minutes given back, we can at this time turn it over to Megan, who is with EverFi.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. Perfect. So hi, everyone. Thanks so much for having me join today. So my name is Meg, and I work for EverFi. So For those of you who have never heard of it before, we are a network of programs and partners who work together to fund real world digital learning programs and lessons for schools. So they're all free of cost. And to show you the courses that we have available, we have quite a large library. And like I said, we really focus on preparing students for the real world. So we started off in 2008 as solely financial literacy. That's where EverFi came from. So we actually started partnering with different community banks to fund a high school financial literacy program for schools. So the banks would fund the CD-ROM back then, and then schools would be able to access it for free. And we've now completely branched out to really deeply develop our financial education library. You can see we have everything from elementary financial literacy now to an entrepreneurial program, an investing program, a financing higher education program, and so on. We also have courses that teach career exploration, social emotional learning, health and wellness if you focus on a health career track with students. And we also have diversity, equity, and inclusion resources as well. So I'll dive a bit more into them in just a bit, but in terms of how our lessons are set up, so every single one of these courses that students go through is broken down into different mini lessons. So they'll be anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes in length. And every single lesson that the kids work on are going to have a pre-assessment and a post-assessment. So teachers can track auto-graded progress on how the students are doing on each lesson. And there's also additional lesson tools that I'll show you in addition to the digital courses that students can work on in a self-paced asynchronous way. There's lesson plans, discussion questions, and things like that that you can use more synchronously with students. There's also an ever-growing library that we're building out each year. And we do have scholarship opportunities and scholarship programs with our courses as well. So to give you a little look, I'll dive a little bit deeply into some highlighted courses. So our marketplaces course, or we call it Market Works sometimes interchangeably, teaches students a mixture of, so we have our financial literacy course that teaches the basics, and then marketplaces or Market Works really goes deeper into financial literacy and teaches students about, how they participate in the economy. It teaches them different investing skills. If they're interested in entrepreneurship, it teaches them about investing for a business from a business perspective, and it also helps them explore different financial careers. So that's how the MarketWorks program is set up, or marketplaces. And then Keys to Your Future is another series of lessons that we have that teaches students everything from, I know someone mentioned like career exploration and career matching. So this course has like a career aptitude test that students go through, and they learn about different careers that may be of interest to them based on different skills and interests they have. It helps them figure out how to choose the right path for them, and different post-secondary options and so on. So it's meant to be a really interactive, engaging way for tools or for students to engage with the content. So I'm going to skip really quickly to this part because in terms of how our programs are free, like I mentioned, we work with different sponsors to fund them for schools, so they're always free of cost. And every DOE student and teacher actually already has an account for EverFi through the Teach Hub portal. So some of our we have tons of different sponsors and partners across the DOE, but some of our biggest ones are UBS. So some of you may have heard from your principals about these workshops that we're having with UBS. Actually, this week, our first one was today, and our second one is happening on Friday. But they fund that Keys to Your Future college and career readiness program that I mentioned. So for any student who was working on that program, they were eligible to participate in a live interview workshop with UBS volunteers. So they were helping students in breakout rooms work on elevator pitches, figure out how to build out their resumes, and so on. So with our partnerships that we have, we're able to work with a lot of different volunteers that work with students to really equip them with real world skills. And those are always an extension of the lessons that the students can access online. And all of our courses are evidence informed. So for every course we develop, we have an in-house team of product experts, but we always recruit external experts as well to help us develop the content. And we really make sure that our courses are focusing on the Samsha 8 dimensions of wellness. So we know when we think of wellness, and especially in the past, we would often think of, being physically fit or eating well, but we know truly having a well-rounded individual takes much more than that. And so our courses focus on everything from occupational wellness to being ready for the real world to financial wellness and giving students the financial skills they need to be successful, to social emotional learning, spiritual wellness, which it can mean just like practicing mindfulness and being present in the moment, and so on, so that students have the skills they need for success in the real world. And so I'll dive into the courses in just a bit, but did want to highlight the how our courses support English language learners and students with disabilities. And I'm editing here. I realized I must have copied this from my elementary version, but we do have quite a few courses in Spanish as well. But first and foremost, how our courses support English language learners and students with disabilities is that all of the programs are fully narrated. So while the students work through the course, the text will be up on the screen. It'll be really interactive for them, but they'll also be able to hear it. It's read aloud to them as they're working through it. It also supports students' vocabulary development. They'll always have access to a glossary, and it also has images associated with all of the vocabulary they're learning, which we know can really, especially with English language learners, support their English development as they can see the picture vocabulary association. The courses are all, like I said, the digital courses are very self-paced for students. So they work at their own pace. They are able to revisit the content always. So it's really meant to be accessible to all students. And then we do have quite a few courses that are available and fully translatable into Spanish as well. And if you have any questions, I should have some time at the end for questions, but if you have any as I'm speaking, please feel free to chat them in. And yes, I will be providing instructions for how to log in just a moment. So in terms of our main highlighted post-secondary readiness courses, we have 26 courses. So there's quite a few to choose from, and you can access the catalog in your account, which I'll show you in just a minute, to explore them all. But the main ones that really touch on post-secondary readiness in the financial management side of things is our EverFi financial literacy course. And you'll see that these are 7 lessons that are about 30 minutes each. So this is actually our longest course. And that has 3.5 total learning hours. So I know some CTE teachers will actually use these for learning hour credits, which you can absolutely do. We are we partner with the state CTE division as well. But we also have MarketWorks, which, like I said, that's the investing program that also highlights financial careers. Pathways Financing Higher Education. I love that match tool that you all shared out. And this is kind of a really great complement and extension for when students are thinking about best match, because this course gets into ROI for colleges and then how to finance colleges and finding the best loan options for them. So those are some 3 highlighted courses from the financial wellness side of things. We have entrepreneurship and so on as well. Career development and exploration. Keys to Your Future is a great course that teaches college and career readiness. Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Kenneth. And Tiffany, yes, most of our courses, we only have Spanish available currently. We're hoping to continue to grow that out over the next few years. But yeah, so in terms of career development, we have Keys to Your Future is kind of our fundamental college and career readiness course. And like I said, that's the one that we have live workshops that we'll do with UBS for kids that use that program. And then there's plenty of other resources you can see as well. So I'll show you all how to dive in and access first, so that way, if you want to explore as I'm talking, we can have you do that. So if you are, I want to highlight before anyone tries to log in that the Teach Hub route, I know just about everyone has Teach Hub accounts, but only rostered teachers will be able to access EverFi through TeachHub. So if you have like business classes assigned to you or health careers classes assigned to you through STARS, that's when you'll be able to access through TeachHub. If you don't have rosters through STARS, that's totally fine. We can show you another way to log in. But this is accessible through TeachHub for anyone that has rosters and STARS. The reason it's only available to those that have rosters is because it actually links your rosters to your EverFi account. So you can assign this courses to students right away. So if you are a rostered teacher, you can log into the TeachHub portal through the DOE, which is teachhub.schools.nyc, or I know it's right on the main DOE homepage. And then EverFi lives on Clever, the Clever app that's in there. So you can find that by going to K-12 and then Clever. And that's where you'll see EverFi. You can always heart EverFi so that it shows up on your main homepage moving forward. I recommend you have your students do this too. Students actually log in the same exact way. They get into TeachHub, click on K-12 and Clever, and then the EverFi app. So this is for those of you, again, who are rostered. If you are not rostered, you can still create a free account and connect it to your school just by going to everfi.com/new teacher. So if you are not rostered, or this is also if you're a school that does not use TeachHub at all, and you would rather use like a G Suite domain, if you have like at ps106.org, you can create your own account at everfi.com/new teacher. So that way is super easy. You just, once you go to that web page, you'll type in your state. Obviously it's New York, and then find your school, and then you just set up a profile. And this route, you do have to select a course up front. I recommend selecting Keys to Your Future because all high schools should have access to that, but you can always add additional courses afterwards. That's how I'll show you. So again, rostered teachers, you can go in through TeachHub. Unrostered teachers, if you don't have rosters assigned to you in STARS, you can just go everfi.com/new teacher and create a free account that way. So once you're in your account, the first thing you're going to want to do is to go to the catalog. So you can click add course or just click the button that says catalog in the top left. And that's where you can view all of the courses that we have. So I'm actually going to show you this live here. When I click into catalog, you'll see the courses broken down by section. So the financial education section is going to have the Pathways Financing Higher Education course. It has the EverFi Financial Literacy course that teaches students about banking basics. It teaches them about income and taxes and how to file their taxes and so on. There's also marketplaces or MarketWorks. We sometimes call it in the DOE. And there's all kinds of other courses you can explore as well. Something that's helpful is you can always see the recommended grade band in the middle there. And make sure to click over too, because we do have a few pages of courses. The other big highlight for work-based learning programs, we're actually working with the top program to implement a lot of these currently through the TCAC offices. But another thing to focus on is the college and career readiness section. So you'll see Pathways shows up here again, but this is also the Keys to Your Future program that I mentioned. So you can just click add. And then once you do that, you'll have access to all of these on your homepage. Now, once they're on your homepage, highly recommend exploring the resources. So you'll see in the resources tab, one thing that's super helpful to know about is the curriculum guide, because that shows you the length of each lesson. So if you're wanting specific learning hours for your students, you can see this course is going to be about 1.5 learning hours, or you can do it lesson by lesson. They're just about 20 minutes each. And each of those lessons is going to have an assessment for you that you can track students' progress. In this curriculum guide, you'll also see all of the objectives within each lesson they do. So you can see if you need them for lesson plans or for when you're tracking student hours, you can see exactly what they're doing within the lesson. To explore the course as a student and see what it looks like for students, you can click into View Course. And this is pathways. So this is what pathways is going to look like for students. So first, they just identify their general goals. So this isn't a lesson, it's just a quick overview of what they're interested in. So Mr. Jones is going to help them figure out just what they're looking for in a higher education setting. So they'll select how they feel about higher education and click through what works best for them. And all courses are meant to be really personalized to the students and take in their own interests and thoughts. So what are your thoughts about higher education? It's the way to go. It's a good investment. Whatever works best for them, and so on. So that's the first kind of introductory part. I'm actually going to go back to here we go, back to the dashboard to show you what the lessons actually look like. So once they get into the lessons, they are going to have a brief introduction. So Shyla's really excited because a friend she knows is going to take her around her campus. Before the students dive into the course, they're going to take a quick pre-assessment. So this on your end is going to help you track the student progress. They'll then work through the lesson and then have a post-assessment. How you actually have students access this is you use the green button that says create class. So whichever course you'd like to assign first, let's say we'll assign this pathways course, you'll click on create class. And this is going to have two different options. If you went through TeachHub, you're going to see all your student sections here. So you'll see, intro to business or CFM or whatever your courses are, you'll see them all populate here. So you can assign them course by course. If you went in not through TeachHub at everfi.com/new teacher, you'll create just a general section name. And then I'm going to create a demo here. Oh. And then as you set up this general information, you can decide if you want to give them access to multiple courses at a time when they log in, or just one course. And then when you click create, it's going to give you a code. So you can give that code to students. They can log in through TeachHub and they just enter in that code in the EverFi app, and then they're ready to access the courses you gave to them. You'll then be able to track their progress under the reports tab and use all the other resources that are there for you to support. So if you went through TeachHub through the Clever app, you don't need to give them a code. Your students will automatically see that when they log in. And I want to make sure we have enough time to answer these questions. So in terms of how students actually access, if they go in through TeachHub, they already have accounts. So I'll share with you our DOE toolkit. On page 3 of this toolkit is a guide that shows students how to log in through TeachHub. And it might take a minute to load here. And then on that, I went past it. So in that guide, it just tells students, first you log in through TeachHub, then you find the Clever app, then you go to EverFi, and then they're automatically going to see the classes that you've set up for them if you went through TeachHub. If you didn't go through TeachHub, they'll just enter in the code at that point. I wanted to highlight, so with our DOE team, we have borough-based support. Our job is to train teachers. We train schools. Whoever needs help, we support the DOE directly. So you're welcome to just reach out to me first, no matter what borough you work with, and I can help you if you want a one-on-one training. I think I had like 15 this week. So I help teachers and coordinators all the time. So please reach out to me if you want to kind of chat one-on-one. But we do have direct borough support. So I support Manhattan, the Bronx, and Brooklyn. Chloe here supports Queens schools, and Pooja supports Staten Island schools. But we work really collaboratively to help teachers and students access these programs. I know we're at 3:01 here. Does anybody else have any questions they wanted to ask before we hop off? I'm not sure. Where are the work-based learning supports again? Is that from me, Kimberly? Are you asking which courses are best? Oh, okay. Yes. Let me go back to those recommended courses to add. So these are the best courses. Oh my goodness, so many slides. Let me just go back here. These are the recommended courses specifically for work-based learning courses. So you can see the first 3 under financial management, the second set of 3 under career and college readiness, and then the last 2 are under social emotional learning if you're interested in that. Absolutely. All right, so like I said, if you have any other questions, please send me an email. I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you've been connected with Chloe. She's a great help. And yes, these can apply for learning hours. Absolutely. All right, well, that's all I had on my end. So thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Megan. And I think I'm going to hand it back to Eve just to round out today's session. And I know she had a few other things to add before we close out.
Great. Thanks so much, Takia. So thank you, Takia and Larry, for having us. It's been great to be able to talk to you all. And I hope you will reach out with any questions and comments you might have. The one thing I did want to throw in that I forgot to mention, and I should know this coming from the transfer school world where I do a lot of work with CBOs and partners who are involved in the schools, is if you would like to access our resources on the DOE, but you are with a CBO and you don't have access to a DOE login, feel free to email me. I have a hack around for every possible DOE resource that you might need from our office that enables you to bypass if you are from a CBO. So certainly feel free to reach out to me. But thank you all so much. Hope you have a great rest of the week. And I really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Eve. Wondering if you might be able to go back to our original presentation for the final few slides.
I will do that. Sorry about that. Hang on.
It's okay, no worries. We just appreciate you guys all being here. Again, all of these resources, as well as the recording and the slides, are going to be in the folder that we will provide access to all of you through the email that is going to go out tomorrow. So I'm going to hand it over to my colleague Larry just to give you more information about that, as well as the exit ticket. So take it away, Larry. And I don't know if he stepped away, but just quickly, the exit survey link is there. We really would encourage you guys to all complete the exit ticket. It not only gives us a chance to hear what you thought of the session, but also what improvements we can make. And it also doubles as attendance because we want to make sure that if you registered, that you actually were able to attend today. And it allows us to link, your school, TBN, as well as any requests you might have for CTLE credit. So please don't forget to do that.
I'm sorry, I'm here.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll let you take it away.
All right. So, and a second item on the presentation, you'll notice is the link for the upcoming Institute session. So if you click that link, it'll actually take you to the WBL Institute homepage, where you can register for the upcoming offerings from the WBL Institute. We have 2 more remaining sessions for December. Our third link is actually the resource folder, and I think Takia mentioned that earlier. This is where all of the resources that provided by CCPT today will be available at your leisure, I guess, once Takia sent out that email. Please, we encourage you to, once again, please fill out the exit survey before you sign off from work today. If you could click the next link, Takia, I'm sorry. Thank you. So once again, thank you for attending on behalf of Takia and myself and the CCPT team. We say thank you and enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
Can you put the link to the exit survey in the chat?
Because we can't click on it. I don't know if it's just
We
me.
can't click on it.
Yeah, I'm about to do that, folks. Hang on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Eve. So guys, please feel free to look at the upcoming offerings for December. We have 2 more sessions coming up before the end of this semester, and then we'll be actually unveiling our spring calendar from, well, winter calendar really, from January to March in mid-December. So please look out for that. If there are any other questions, we still have some time, but you guys are free to reclaim 7 minutes of your day if you don't have anything else to add. We definitely look forward to seeing you in the future, and have a great rest of your afternoon.